So, first thing we're going to prepare, and this is something that can be done a few days ahead of time, is the pickled cucumbers and red onion. So I'm going to take a mixture of half white balsamic vinegar, half water. These are about 8 ounces each. About 4 ounces of sugar, about 2 ounces of salt. In the salt content, it's alright for this to be a little bit higher, as is it's going to be something served cold, so you're going to need a little bit more salt in it. Then just a few peppercorns. I'm also going to take a clove of garlic and just give it a rough chop. We're going to place that all together. Then we're going to take it back to the stove, and we're just going to bring this up to a simmer until basically the sugar and salt is dissolved. So while that's working, we're going to go ahead and get our vegetables ready. We're doing red onion and cucumber with this. Kind of a classical match for salmon. It's also two things that pickle quite well. I'm going to go ahead and trim my ends off my onion. Peel off our outside skin. And then I don't want real big pieces of this, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half and then just slice it very thinly. Using the mid part of my knife, nice smooth motion. Down through the middle, proper technique. Letting the knife do the work. Once that's done, into a stainless steel bowl, we're going to pour the hot liquid right over this. So it is something we wanted in a bowl to be, that's non-reactive, and also something that doesn't really insulate. Something like plastic will insulate, and it'll actually it'll kind of hold the temperature too long, and also with the vinegar and things, it may end up holding the flavor of that pickle in the plastic. So, English cucumber, we're going to take it and just split it down lengthwise, nice and even. And we want about the same length on these that we have on the onions. So just nice and smooth. Cucumber is one of the good things, especially when you cut them and lay them flat like this, to practice that technique on. To really get that comfortable knife. And plus, it's a softer vegetable, so it's something that's a little bit more forgiving on getting through. You can really get comfortable with the knife. It's one of the first things when I was in culinary school. It looked really cool to go really fast with. I don't know how exacting my knives were, or my cuts were, but it looked really cool. So as we work through this, we have our simmering coming up. Again, this is something that can be done a few days ahead of time. It's actually better if it's a few days ahead of time. It has a chance to kind of come together. We're going to do this, and since it's nice and about 30 degrees outside, I'm just going to wrap it and put it on the porch till we're ready to plate here in about an hour or so. Do a really quick pickle on it. The rest of it I will put in a quart container and put it in the fridge until I have something to use it on. Or just pick it up and eat it. So our liquid's coming up here. This is one of the other things you want to adjust, that if you need a little bit more liquid to bring it up to the point to cover everything, it's fine. Again, salt content, things like that, you don't want to worry about being too salty because it's all going to be cold. Cold food traditionally needs more salt to come through than hot food. It's one of the things when doing cold platters and things like that was always emphasized, season it twice as much almost. That way when it's cold, it still has the flavoring to it. So give this a quick little stir. Just waiting for all the sugar. It still looks like this with the salt and everything at the bottom. You need to let it go a little bit longer on the stove. Let me take that back over. Now that's up to a good simmer, or up to all dissolved. Just gonna pour it over, make sure all our vegetables are down in. And then take and cover this with some plastic wrap. We'll just give that, it'll seal in the heat for just a few extra moments, which will help with that quick pickle. This is not something you could take and just can. This isn't really killing off any botulism or anything else.